Anime as an art form has exploded in the modern world. It's a style of storytelling that expresses raw emotions through impossible words, limitless imagination, and in-depth characters and situations. With deep symbolism, profound life lessons, and moments that hit the soul hard. It's no surprise that so many people resonate with anime on a spiritual level. And one of the most iconic things about anime is their power systems, the energy structures, the transformations, and abilities that shape the story and the growth of the characters. And so in this video, I want to have fun and rank them based off of real spiritual concepts. Before we start ranking, let's go through the ranks and what I'll be looking at. Having a ranking system S tier to F tier, with S being the most closely to real life spiritual systems and F being not like it at all. As I'll be grading it off of which of these power systems are most like spiritual concepts through its closeness and real life counterparts, how the power system works and the techniques, and the relationship it has with users through emotions. So, we will be looking at stuff like the subtle body mostly, but also some other spiritual ideas. At the end of the day, it is just my opinion and based on my own spiritual path. So let's have fun and comment any ideas and concepts I might have missed. First, we start off with the spiritual pressure from BLEACH, an iconic power system from an iconic show. It captures the classical anime approach to energy, with concepts very similar to chi, aura, and life force, and the spiritual weight that someone carries just by existing. One thing BLEACH does exceptionally well is the idea of the egoic mind, how your spiritual pressure is influenced by training, discipline, inner stillness, emotional clarity, and the transcendence of the self. This mirrors real spiritual concepts extremely well. But, to me, BLEACH only scratches the surface. Themes are there, the metaphors are strong, but it doesn't go as deep into the subtle body anatomy or consciousness as some of the other systems will cover. So for now, I'll be placing BLEACH around the middle of the road at B tier. Now let's talk about pyrokinesis from Fire Force. An extremely creative idea with some of the best sound designs and visual expressions of fire ability in anime. Fire Force incorporates a few mystical elements, especially the ATLA link, which echoes spiritual concepts like shared consciousness, divine realms, and quantum entanglement. But when it comes to actual spiritual anatomy, subtle energy systems, or true inner alchemy, there isn't as much depth to pull from. It's fun, it's stylish, it's unique, but spiritually, it doesn't reach too far past the surface. So I'm placing pyrokinesis around D tier. The next power system we will be looking at is Haki from One Piece. The most popular anime in the world, One Piece offers a power system that is filled with spiritual counterparts, as Haki acts as a stylized chi system in the One Piece universe, in which a user of Haki has spiritual gifts similar to the real-life counterpart. With the three core forms of Observation Haki, Armament Haki, and Conqueror's Haki, with Observation Haki being a heightened perception, using the sixth sense and intuition to expand awareness. Armament Haki being that of hardening the body with spiritual will, similar to chi fortification practices and the defense of chi. And Conqueror Haki being the overwhelming presence of one's aura, as seen through energetic resonance of certain beings, such as enlightened beings and gurus, who can make people burst into tears through their concentrated awareness, inner stillness, and unconditional love. Furthermore, Haki does not rely on external objects, gimmicks, or unrealistic metaphysics, as it is awakened from within through discipline, meditation, stillness of the mind, effortless action, and expansion of presence and awareness. As one's Haki becomes stronger when you stop forcing and start flowing, a teaching straight out of both the Taoist text and One Piece, leading me to place it at A tier, and not S tier, knowing some of the other power systems on this list. Now let us jump into One Piece's other power system, Devil Fruits. With Haki being a great example of great spiritual concepts stylized into animated power systems, Devil Fruit is not one of these. A fun concept from powers, it does not hold the same strengths as Haki and other systems. While it will give it some bonuses for the ideas of reaching to the full potential through the user's will and identity, along with the eating the forbidden fruit motif, mirroring mythological ideas similar to the Garden of Eden story. Despite all of that, I would still put it at the top of D tier. Now, the next power system we will be looking at is the breathing styles from Demon Slayer. This beautifully designed power system really hits the fundamental of spiritual practices, as breath and breathwork is the basis of so much spirituality throughout all traditions. And so not only does Demon Slayer capture the aesthetics of this beautifully, but goes deeper into the visual metaphors with the elemental themes in which the power system plays out. With the style of breath having different types of elemental variation, different types of chi manipulation, to me this does a great job of really nailing the head on using real spiritual concepts and making a creative power system off of it. While with high praises for this, I cannot give it the highest tier, and I will be placing it with Haki at A tier. The next anime power system we will be looking at is quirks from My Hero Academia. While a fun and creative idea done well for amazing world building, when it comes to true spiritual concepts, this is pretty far off the mark. Having very little to deal with spiritual concepts and more framed through genetic mutation. While I must give credit as the main character and villain powers of All for One and One for All to be a great metaphor of the yin and yang and positive and negative polarity, and more specifically One for All quirk being a great metaphor to the spiritual path through concepts such as unity, dharma, and even past lives. That all being said, I cannot base the power systems just off of the main characters, and so I would have to add this to the list of not super spiritual concepts in D tier. Now, the next one is probably what most of y'all expected to be high on this list, because it's also ranked as one of the greatest animes of all time, and this is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. From the very beginning, the entire power system is ripped straight out of Hermetic text and the teachings of spiritual alchemy. You have the law of equivalent exchange, which mirrors the law of karma. You have transmutation circles reflecting visualization, intention, and the mapping of inner geometry. And the entire story is built around the metaphysics of sacrifice, unity, ego death, and the pursuit of wholeness. Even the villains themselves embody the 7 deadly sins. The inner journey is expressed through the ego and dissolution of identity. You have the truth, the void, and the process of confronting the self, the essence of esoteric inner alchemy. This system doesn't just reference spiritual ideas, it nails them, symbolically, philosophically, and metaphysically. It mirrors the exact processes seen in Taoist alchemy, Hermeticism, Buddhist emptiness teachings, and Hindu sacrifice metaphysics. So of course, Full Metal Alchemist gives us our first S tier on this list. It is a power system built entirely around what inner alchemy actually is. Now, with an anime that's competing to the greatest of all time is Attack on Titan. While this show does not have the traditional energy systems like Haki or Chi, what this show does offer is a lot of spiritual metaphors, such as trauma passed through bloodlines, epigenetics, shadow work, and deep emotional scenes. And with Eren really being the only redeeming quality when it comes to spirituality of this, with his path and the founding Titan giving us great metaphysical trips. While arguably one of the best animes of all time, when it comes to their power system and its relationships to spiritual concepts, it does fall pretty flat, placing it at C tier, merely due to the symbolism, the emotional depths, and the trip that is the founding Titan. Next up, we have limiters from One Punch Man. While nothing crazy here, as this comedic show does not offer too much when it comes to a power system rooted in spirituality, while arguments can be said about the non-attachment nature of Sadama, I think it is safe to say, when it comes to a power system and its relationship to spiritual concepts, this would be F tier. Now let's go to a classic, one of the power systems that really started this entire wave, Ki from the Dragon Ball series. Dragon Ball introduced millions of people to the idea of life force energy, as Ki is literally the Japanese word for Chi. The same life force taught in Taoism, Qigong, martial arts, yoga, and mysticism across the world. And to this day, is still one of the closest representations of subtle body energy. While Dragon Ball does go beyond for entertainment purposes, we cannot dismiss the real connection between Ki in real life and Ki in the Dragon Ball series. For starters, we have the aura, the ability to fly, and energy manipulation, all glorified in classic anime and DBZ fashion. But what really sells it to me is through the training, and more specifically from the original show of Dragon Ball, as Master Roshi, Kami, and Mr. Po literally teach Goku the foundations of inner training: stillness, breath, discipline, meditation, purity of heart, and alignment of body and mind. Earning Ki at A tier. Now let's go to Cursed Energy from JJK. A classic style of anime power system. Spiritual energy flowing through people, objects, curses, emotions, and environments, with a wide range of unique expressions depending on the character's lineage and techniques. While nothing here is groundbreaking from a spiritual perspective, it does take inspiration from real concepts, and keeps the generic roots of these systems. What JJK does especially well is Gojo's Awakening, a beautiful artistic way that fits the metaphor of spiritual awakening, enlightenment, into the story of the show. And so while not really innovating, when it comes to the spiritual power system, it does not really mess up with the classics too much. Along with some deep spiritual metaphors, I give Cursed Energy B tier. Now let's talk about psychic abilities from Mob Psycho. While these psychic abilities are obviously exaggerated for the show, this show does well to encapsulate the importance of emotional states and ego dissolution. While not necessarily going accurate when it comes to the classic cities or the subtle body, it does touch upon and emphasize the importance of emotional capacity and its relationship to powers, as well as the more authentic Mob is, the more power he gains. While with many other animes touching upon this concept, Mob Psycho highlights it. But when it comes to other anime power systems, for me, this ranks at C tier. Let's touch upon power systems that come across a lot of animes. Magic. From shows like Frieren, Seven Deadly Sins, Fairy Tail, and more. Although we're going broad across many animes with the idea of magic, this universal power system does fit along the same category when it comes to real-world parallels. Manipulation of subtle forces, intention, visualization, energy channeling, symbols and runes, aligning with elements, and focusing the mind to shape reality. While this is an overgeneralization compared to the other anime power system, magic often stays at the surface level when it comes to the spiritual, with sometimes a hint of deep spiritual truths depending on the show. As a power system in general, this lands around C tier for me. But we can look at another magic example that is slightly different that I'll touch upon is the Grimoires from Black Clover. While still being like the rest of the magic anime, the Grimoires acts as a reflection of the soul's karmic potential, as well as mirroring spiritual concepts such as inner mastery and personal evolution. Consciousness attracts tools, teachings, and abilities appropriate for your current level of awareness. That all being said, I still do not think this is anything beyond the other magic animes, but thought it was important enough to give a brief explanation about it, leading me to place it with the other magic animes at C tier. And now one of my favorite, and a popular anime with an iconic power system, we have Chakra System from Naruto. One of the closest mainstream anime has ever gotten to real spiritual energy models. Naruto's entire power system is literally based off the subtle body and spiritual concepts. I mean, we got the power system literally called chakras, the hand signs based off of mudras, nature transformations paralleling the 5 elements, to the meridians and acupressure points of the Byakugan, to concepts of shadow work and trauma with their inner demons, the personal void we see Naruto and Kurama conversing in, to the deep harmony with the life around through Sage Mode, and even deeper states of symbolism with the 6th path, and so much more, such as Genjutsu, Rasengan, and Sharingan. While this is not even all of them, Naruto's story hits on a deep emotional truths along with these energetic principles of the subtle body, all stylized for a ninja anime. So deeply rooted in real spiritual anatomy, the chakra system easily is an S tier power system. Next is another popular show with a classic power system, Nin from Hunter x Hunter. Nin is one of the most detailed and yet complex power systems to understand. While acting similar to the classic anime spiritual resemblance of life force and aura, it extends it through its own categories and elements. with different types of nin having different attributes of one energetic power system. While this is accurate to different types of chi and vibration, to me this mirrors more directly with something like the human design types, such as generator, manifestor, and projector, as both detailed and complex systems really give a depth to a system in the world. Furthermore, the Hunter x Hunter has to offer some spiritual overtones, such as the epic story of becoming self-realized, gaining the powers of 100 types of Guanyin Bodhisattva. So with the overall richness of nin, one that mirrors chi cultivation, emotional mastery, human design, and sprinkles in with some spiritual and metaphysical concepts, I would place nin at the top of B tier. The next power system we'll be looking at is from Code Geass, the power of the Geass. With this political, psychological, and strategic anime, the power system almost fades into the background. At first glance, Geass does not look like a spiritual power system, but to me it touches upon the cities and the associations of psychic abilities of the third eye. A power system arising from subconscious truth, tying deeply with trauma and karmic imprints, such as Lelouch's Geass of absolute obedience, a reflection of his desire to control a world that once took everything away from him. Mao's mind reading, a manifestation of his fear of abandonment, and Rollo's time distortion due to an inability to process emotional presence and connection. Mirroring not only the psychic abilities of the third eye, but the spiritual principles that your greatest power emerges from the greatest wounds, reflecting upon a Jungian psychology. And while Code Geass is done in a way that is really creative and written beautifully, when it comes to a power system, it's not as clean of a reflection as some of the other anime power systems, leading me to place it around C tier. Now before our final one, I want to give honorable mentions of shows that I have not watched that probably could have been on this list, such as Stans and the power system of JoJo Bizarre Adventure, and Riki from Yu Yu Hakusho. Now, for our final power system of this list, one of my personal favorites, and one of the most spiritually accurate of all of them, is Avatar: The Last Airbender. And while some people will argue that Avatar isn't technically an anime, I do not think I really have to fight this one. The influence, the artistry, the storytelling, and the deep spiritual and philosophical truth makes this show well deserved to be in this conversation. Let's start with just the power system bending. The system is based off the classic elemental system of the 5 elements, using the 4 earthly elements of earth, water, fire, and air, the elemental force with all of life, and the chi body. Not only that, with each style of bending being influenced by a form of martial arts and qigong movements. Furthermore, the elements not only act as just the power system, but the emotional and cultural style of each associated elemental nation and the world it is created around. With the elements being a large part of the reason, it is definitely not the only one. With the spiritual mirrors of the Water Nation showing meridians, the Swamp Nation teaching us about enlightenment, Guru Patik teaching us about the chakras, the spirit worlds, past lives, what it means to be an avatar, energy bending, Zuko's Dark Night of the Soul, and the countless spiritual lessons from Uncle Iroh. To me, it is obvious. I mean, we can see the clear mirrors of the power systems with real life. We don't even have to go into The Legend of Korra, which expands upon these concepts like energy bending, yin and yang, and that Zahir scene. Let it go of your earthly tether, enter the void, empty and become wind. So placing this masterclass of bending and Avatar: The Last Airbender at unquestionably S tier, bringing us to the end of the tier list. When really looking at these power systems side by side and the beautiful stories and lessons that come with it, we can see how anime is becoming modern epics and mythology through the ways of expressing spiritual truths through symbolism, energy systems, and character growth. And whether it be nin, chakra, haki, ki, magic, alchemy, or bending, they are all different artistic ways of pointing to the same thing, the infinite potential of life force already inside of you. That's it for today's video. I hope you liked this silly little video. I wanted to do something fun for this holiday. Remember to like and subscribe and leave any comments. All the support really helps this channel. And if you really want to go deep on the real-life power system that all these animes touch upon, check out other videos on this channel or check the links in the description. Thanks for watching. Peace.